प्रेम से बोल श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोल श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। Devotees of class friends, placing our mind in the lotus feet of Bhagwan, beseeching His divine grace, His blessings. But Lord, many times we may have a conflicting mind. But when our prayers is strong, our faith is strong at your lotus feet, Prabhu. You uplift us in our darkest moment. And to that we are grateful. We therefore clasp our hands as prostrate at your lotus feet, beseeching your divine grace and blessings. In the simplest of all forms, in that form of Omkar. So with one voice, we chant Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Om Gajananam Bhutaganaadisevitam Kapittajambo Palacharavakshanam Omasutam Shokavinashakarakam Namami Viganesh Varapankajam. Saraswati Bande Ramayanam Pavanaputra Hanuman Nig Sevak Mame Jankari Deva Buddhi Bhalatyan Ram Katha Varnakaram मन में अति ललचाए बंदो गणेश महेश गण की जय आप सहाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। गीता गंगा सित गायत्री सीता सत्या स्वरोस्वती ब्रह्म विद्या ब्रह्मणि श्री संध्या ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव वन्दनाम् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयममृतात्। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। हरि ओम नमः शिवाय। तन मन की एक सुबह बिसर गई है, सम्मुख बोले नाथ करी है। सन्मुख की एक बिसर गई है, सम्मुख बोले नाथ Shankar Bhagwan Ki Jai. First and foremost, devotees, let me take this opportunity this morning to say my Kujan Pranam Sitaram to each and every one of you as we gather yet again on this Sunday to our beautiful mandir, Shri Hari Narayan Mandir. As I always say, this is our home away from home, and it's imperative that each and every one of us must make the time and effort to be into satsang. This morning, I must say how pleasant and pleased it is to see so many of you who have left the comfort of your home to be into satsang with us this morning physically. May Bhagwan's grace and darshan always be with you. To those of you who are watching us at this time on the various platforms that is available, I want to also take this opportunity to say thank you, God's grace and blessings, my Jai Sitaram to each and every one of you to join us and to be part of our beautiful satsang this morning. This is also an ample opportunity for you to please do send to friends, relatives, and neighbors so that they can all be gathered into this part of the satsang, which is called pravachan, where all of us will learn a little bit more into our scripture. It says that when we travel a distance, it says that every moment that you spend going forward, agachali, it means that when we go forward in life, the devotees, every distance that we travel, we're closer and closer to that final destination. What is the destination that each and every one of us is traveling for? That destination, my friends, it is called darshana, it is called, in many cases, it is called moksha, it is called liberation, it is called, devotees, to energize ourselves so that every part of that journey become comfortable. Devotees, in our life, if you are traveling from here to, say, New York City, how many of you, quick survey, how many of you are going to travel driving from Toronto to New York? Raise your hand and say, oh, Bhagwan, how are you drive by? Good, very good. See, devotees? But on that journey, in order for that journey to be relaxing, beautiful, and enjoyable, what do? You pull off, right? And you go into those, what do you call them, those resting stations. And devotees, you will stretch your foot out, you will enjoy yourself. Some of us will even extend to the point where we'll grab a meal and sit and eat. Some of us will even, sometimes when I'm driving, I see people park up in the side and they even pull out a little cooker, right? And they will cook to enjoy, to make that trip beautiful. So the question for us is, what makes our trip beautiful in life? See? Devotees, you can do all the things in the world, but one of the things that will make your life even more beautiful, devotees, is when we attend and we are part of satsang. That is what is going to make our life even more beautiful. So this morning, devotees, we'll start our katha off with the simple thing. What is the easiest way to greet somebody in Hindu Dharma? How do we greet somebody? Very good. See, devotees, to greet somebody formally in Sri Satya Sanatana Dharma, devotees, we clasp our hands together and we bow our heads down to them and we say Ram Ram, Sita Ram, Namaskar, Radhe Radhe, all of these things. So let me see all of you this morning. Try this. Put your hand together like this in front of you. Wow, look, all of you. Good. Very beautiful. And bow your head down and say Ram Ram. Now turn to the person side of you. Clasp your hand like this and say Ram Ram. See, devotees? Now, you see this? This, my friends, I do not ever want to see any of you say, hey, you, or what's up, or stretch a hand for a handshake. Remember when COVID was going around? You couldn't shake hands with nobody. Isn't that true? And what did the Queen of England says? It says that the Hinduism had it perfect. How did they have it perfect? Because they clasped their hand, have to touch nobody. And you see, Ram Ram. See, devotees? But then, what does a person do now in return to you? They look at you back and they clasp their hand and they bow down and they say, Jai Sitaram. Okay? So now, what we're going to do together, clasp our hand, turn to the person beside you, say Ram Ram. And now you bow back and you say, Jai Sitaram. See, devotees? Now, it means that when you look at that person and you say Ram Ram, you say, I see God in you. That's what it means. And Jai Sitaram, it means that victory, the Jai means victory, Sitaram, and may Sita Mata bless you as well. You see, devotees? And this is why in Hinduism, so from now on, I want all of you, when we see each other, regardless whether you're in a shopping mall, you see, devotees? You know, I will tell you something. Last week, being Pandit, I associate sometimes with people. I was with Mayor Crombie. Anybody know who Mayor Crombie is? She is the mayor for Mississauga. But at the present time, she is running for the provincial leadership for the provincial government. And I was with her last week, and she says to me, Pandit, you know what? You need to be part of my cabinet. Right? Mayor, let me make it clear. This Pandit will never get into politics. Alright? So she asked, and when she saw me, devotees, you know how she addressed me? Rama. Can you believe that? That is how, this, mayor addressed me. And this is why, devotees, all of us needs to understand that our dharma, that my friends, it is one of the greatest dharma. And this is why this morning, devotees, we're fortunate to have Vidiji sat down for puja, beautifully done by Pandit Krishnaji. And all of you have participated to make, devotees, the satsang complete. And this is why this morning, I will take you all the way to the Devi Bhagavatam. It speaks of devotees. One of the questions that man needs to understand is that when we start our day off with the name of God, by seeing our parents, by seeing our friends and saying Ram Ram, devotees, this is where success is going to come in our lives. And devotees, it says all of our advancement in life is because we place our trust onto the divinity. And this is why in the Devi Bhagavatam it tells us, Pranavani Sab Sutta Kar Rupa Pranavani Kar Sutta Par Rupa Ratme Se It is said that devotees, it says here, that all of us, each and every one of you, are capable for success in our life. Everybody is capable of success. But not all of us can perform the duties to formulate our life to bring success. Understand this? There's a lot of successful people in this world. But devotees, what happened to some of us who have success? Success goes up, but devotees, eventually you hear they crumble. Why is that? Because devotee, we cannot formulate, we cannot handle that success properly. This is why the scripture is saying. In other words, devotees, it says that the sacrifice one makes determine the results. If you don't make sacrifice, you're not going to get results. This is why, devotees, every one of you, the children that goes to school, He says that that child, if he doesn't show up every day to school, perform their homework, and do what is required of them. By the way, school is opening when? Next week, eh? Now, just a quick survey. How many children in the Monday are looking forward to school next week? How many of you? Okay, how many look forward to go to school starting next week but to take lunch? Yeah? There we go, you see? You see, my friends? Here it is saying that we must prepare. So this is something to prepare you for school. And what are we doing? We're saying here that Bhagwan, it says that the sacrifice that you will make will determine that result. If a person goes to work, but that person, only show up when he or she feels like showing up, then what happened to them? They'll eventually lose their job. This is why the sacrifice is so important. Coming to Mandir has to be a sacrifice. Right? We can't come 1 week and not come for 3 weeks. Right? Because then what happened? That journey in your life, what are you doing? You're making it unconditionally unfavorable to your conditions. And here it is saying. Now, the question here is, in the Devi Bhagavatam, the question that was asked is, why is there so much suffering? Why is there, we go through so much, we suffer so much in our life. Look at our lives today. Everywhere you turn, some form of problems, isn't that true? Right? And if you take a problem too, some of us, we take our problem. Somebody only look at you, and it becomes a problem. Right? Will you look at me, bud? You don't need it. Will you look at me, bud? Right? You see, my friends? How sensitive we become in life. Isn't that true? Do you see devotees? How sensitive we are? We see two people talking, all of a sudden we feel what? Come on, I got it. I know the story. Huh? You see two people talking, all of a sudden you think they're doing what? Talking about you. You see? Look at where our life is going. And this is why, devotees, when you come and we sit into satsang, we are in mandir, devotees. It means we start off our mandir. When you walk in it, what do you see? Ram Ram. Isn't that true? I see God in you. But then, as soon as you don't say Ram Ram to that person knows you're walking God your way. And when you turn wrong, you see that back to somebody else. But you're not here. Then what do? Huh? You say, look, what hit them gossip. You see, my friends? So how could you possibly say you see God in that person? And number two is, how could you possibly be godly within yourself? And this is why, devotee, in the Devi Bhagavatam, it is telling us that it is said that light helps us to find our way in the darkness. This is what light does to us. And if a person has no godliness in them, Bhagwan is that light. If we do not have godliness in us, devotees, then we're definitely going to have a rough time in this world that we live in. If you do not have godliness in you. And you look around and see anyone who's living in this world and do not hold God within their hearts, devotees, and look at their life and how difficult it is. I can only tell you. This is why it says that devotees, it says, but in order to receive that light, one need to realize God's grace, one need to give thanks to Bhagwan, one need to make a commitment to God and say, Lord, for you, I realize that without you, nothing in this world is of success in my life. And this is why it says, तुम ही रिद्धि से निधि के दाता, तुम ही रिद्धि से अवधि दाता, देवी देवी सर 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 गाता जय सब लोग श्री आदि शक्ति माता की जय। तुम ही रिद्धि सिद्धि नवनीति। Look how beautiful this Ma is teaching us. It says, Tum hi riddhi siddhi navnidhi. Now, it says Ganapati, his consort is who? Anybody know? Riddhi and Siddhi. That is who Ganapati's consort is. Riddhi Siddhi. It says, Riddhi Siddhi Navnidhi. Riddhi means prosperity. Siddhi means devotees' attainment. Navnidhi, 9 types of treasure. Devotees, for those of you who do Hanuman Puja, a part of the Hanuman Chalisa says, it says here, Hanumanji says, it says, Navnidhi ke data, asvaradina janaki mata. It says here, Navnidhi. Sita Mata bless Hanumanji with Navnidhi. It says 9 types of treasure Sita Ma bless Hanumanji with. Here in the Devi Bhagavatam, it's telling us that Devi Shakti, Devi Ma, it says that when we sit down to do puja, it says devotee, one form of Devi that we worship is called Mahalakshmi. We like that Diya. And this Diya devotees, he gives us this Navnidhi, this 9 types devotees of treasure in life. And you know what the 9 types of treasure is? Prakaya Paveshe Hadi Vidya Prakashaya Paveshe Hadi Vidya Devadevaya Adikasi Hare Rama These are the 9 types of treasure that those of us that you see perform worship, we pray, we do jandi, we come to mandir, we participate in whichever way that is possible. It says such individual will always receive this Navnidhi. The first Navnidhi, it says here, Prakaya Pravesh. Prakaya Pravesh means, in Sanskrit language, Prakaya Pravesh means a person who participate and make effort to be into satsang. That person will always be able to overcome sickness in life. That's the first devotee's siddhi. Overcome sickness in life. Look at life today. So much sickness there are. Everywhere you turn, somebody sneezes around now. Sickness. So the first one, it says Prakaya Pravesh. He says the second one is called Hadi Vidya. Always have the luxury of food. That's why you go to puja. After puja, then what you end up with? Anybody? When puja finish, what do you end up with? Seven curry, you end up with, parsad, you end up with all of these things. And devotee, this is why when we also come into satsang, we must understand it is an insult, and it is, devotees, not only an insult, it is mahapap, that when you come into satsang, certain satsang you go to, people at thief parsad. You ever see that? No? You go to many mandirs, devotee, all stand some devotee and grab food and parsad and one satsang and one and malurok. You ever see that? That's mahapap. You see, these are things that needs to change in our society, devotees. Here it is saying that you must always have the luxury of food in your life. This is what Hadi Vidya means. Kadi Vidya is the third one. Always be comfortable. Wherever you go, you must always find comfort. Even in the difficulties of all conditions, you must feel comfortable. I always tell you, there are people that when they walk in a room, they light the room up. Isn't that true? They lighten up everybody. And there are certain people, when they walk in the room, all them light bulbs start to go out. Pak, 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 and mostly. Did you ever see that? Right? It says that this is what devotee Bhagavan is teaching. Kadi Vidya means that that individual must always be comfortable, regardless of where they are. They must always be comfortable. He says here, every one of them, he says, Vayu Gaman Siddhi means that devotees, that individual is always protected. See, all of this is when you see you come into satsang and you'll be part of satsang. That individual is always protected. It doesn't matter what is happening in their life, they would always be protected. He says the fifth one is to fit in any settings. You ever seen an individual, if two people are singing, they fit in that setting. If somebody is playing a musical instrument, they fit in that setting. If somebody clasps their hand ready to pray, they fit in that setting. You see, devotees, if two people are talking, they fit in. And you know how society is today? When we fit in, that person becomes a friend of all. How many of us can truly say we're like that? Huh? And here, it says the sixth one, never have to worry about wealth in life. See, many people live today, where's the next penny going to come from? Why is this happening to me? How am I going to find money to buy that bicycle that my child needs? All of these things. It says, devotee, just by being part of satsang, it says that person never have to worry about wealth. And the seventh is to be born in a loving home. All of you were born in a loving home. But how many of us accept the fact that we are born into a loving home? See, my friends? Just because you may not get everything you want. But the eighth one, that individual who participate and hold God within their heart and truly believe that God dwells within me, that individual, devotees, it becomes Surya Vigyan. Surya Vigyan means that that person becomes very knowledgeable in life. Very knowledgeable. And the fifth one, the ninth one, devotees, is Mriti Sanjeevani Vidya. That person. Mriti Sanjeevani Vidya means that that person becomes a loving individual. He's loved by everybody. Do you guys know anybody like that? That is being loved by everybody? Anybody know anybody like that? Huh? Oh, Hare Krishna. Okay. See, devotees, yes. See, all of us. Let me tell you this too. You guys should all be pointing at yourself. I am a loving individual. And here, devotees, all of this is devotees for a person who dedicate their lives to God. And dedication in Hindu Dharma doesn't mean that everything you do, everyone you talk to, you must have God in it. Dedication means that you must find that appropriate time and that place that is, punctual. And punctuality is where we come to satsang. And this is what prayers can do, my friends. But we have to add the main ingredient in our life, that we must have a spiritual life. All of us must have a spiritual life. This is why last week, you know what it says. Bhagavan Krishna, He Himself, He says that when a person comes to my home, I'm not talking about your altar alone at home devotees. I'm talking about, my friends, when you go to the Gao, when you go to the Mandir devotees, you know He says, Hey Krishna Kamala Sindhu. Everybody repeat this with me. Hey Krishna Kamala Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopikanta Gopika Gopikanta Radha Kanta Radha. And all of you bow your head now. Namostute. See devotees? Hey Krishna Kamala Sindhu. Anybody know what Sindhu means? Sindhu means that, oh God, you are this God of the entire world. And being the Lord of the entire world, He says, Dina Bandhu Jagatpati. That Lord, you remove so much that devotees in this world, that as the Master, everything is only because of your blessing. The breath you take is because of God. The ability for you to be into this mandir today, it is because of Bhagwan. The reason we have food in our home is because of Bhagwan. The reason we're able to buy the dress, it is because of Bhagwan. And if God is the cause of everything in our life, should we dedicate a few moments to Him? And here it's telling us that I bow to you, Namostute. Today, Bhagwan, I bow down to you. And devotees, Bhagwan Krishna says, again in the Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari Enant devotees, this should get us all prepared because in another week and a half is what? Anybody know? Krishna Janamashi. And here, devotees, chapter 9, verses 29 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna so beautifully says, he says, regardless of who you are, when God speaks, devotee, he speaks to everyone. You and I, when we speak, we only speak to people who need to know. But when we come to a place that is neutral, and a Pandit is speaking, when Pandit Krishna ji is doing his puja, he's not doing the puja just for the devotee alone to hear, but who else was hearing? All of you were listening. See? So when we come into Mandir, devotees, everything should be open to each and every individual. And this is why Bhagavan is saying, regardless of who you are, once you think of me in the form of Bhajante Nam. Bhajante means, devotees, that you must call my name. Devotees, have devotion unto me. Sing my glories. One word, Bhajante. Look how many things it means. Bhajante Nam. He says, that individual who thinks of me, I will always guide and protect such individual. This is one of the reasons. How do we start our day again? When we start our day, we see a person before us. How do we say? Ram. How do we start the day now? You already do Bhajante. See? So Bhagavan is promising us that I will always guide and protect such individual. Just by giving thanks in the form of puja. Just look, devotees, at the rewards one get just by uttering the name of Bhagavan. That is the Bhajante. He says, devotees, he says, realize the greatness of this God. Realize that He is the cause of all causes in our life. Realize that the more involved that we are into satsang, the more we participate in doing puja, the more we sit down and we be part of something, a congregation of some form that glorify Bhagavan. He says that such families, devotees, that participate will always be lifted. But remember, when we come to Mandir, the next day see two people attack, don't automatically think they're talking about you. See, you've just, all that rewards that you've just earned by being into satsang, my friends, you've just erased it. And here, Bhagavan is telling us, he says, and nothing should stop you from glorifying your Bhagavan. Nothing must stop you from going to that murti and bow your heads to it. Devotees, he says, when we do that, devotees, it says, we become, like the poet says, Jana Manaranjana Bhavai Banjana Asura Nikanda the greatness of God. Realize that nothing in my life is possible without you, O Bhagavan. Now, devotees, I will tell you something. I'm going to ask one individual to stand up in this mandir. Okay? And I'm going to show you something. You know, this individual has gotten into a new profession. And the profession that she's gotten into was into the real estate business. And devotees, and she talked to me before, and being that I am the Guruji to the family as well. And he says, Guruji, you know what? I and my family love you to death. And I promise you one thing. The first house I sell, I have a contribution to give to the mandir. Today, my friends, I'm proud to say that she did sell her first home. And I'm going to ask Reshma Ji to stand up. Let's give Reshma a great round of applause, my friends. Devotees, she has made a beautiful contribution here to the mandir with the selling of her first home. And I want all of you that's sitting in this mandir to continue to encourage her. And if there is any need that any of you have for her to help you out, and I will tell you something, what a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gesture to bring her first little bit that she was able to accomplish, and she bring it to our mandir. So, Reshma Ji, and to your family, God and Bhagwan's grace and blessing. So give her a quick round of applause again. Thank you, Reshma Ji. And this is where this conversation is today. It is that when you see we recognize God, we must not only live to only live, devotees. We must live to also share. And so many of you are here in this mandir. So many children are coming here and they're participating. This is part, devotee, of the dharma. And when I see parents bringing their children to teach them their growing ups and how they live and making contributions to continue to uplift our mandir. I'll tell you something. Harinarayana mandir, devotees, if you notice, all the mandirs have, okay, yajna going on, this going on, that going on, right? Fundraising, dancing, all this thing is going on. Harinarayana mandir, though. On top of that, don't have relation that way. See what? The people that comes here, they all know that the mandir needs to continue to move forward. And they make generosities like this. And this is why, devotees, Bhagwan Krishna is saying, he says, anyone who understands the greatness of me and understand that without me, all that you see is happening in your life cannot be possible. But he gave you that for a reason. Your success can only be success, devotees, when we start to make generosities of this form. When we come together as one, and devotees, when we come into community and society, and this is why, my friends, he says in the Krishna Kanda, he tells us in this final bhajan, and this, my friends, is going out to Reshma Ji and also devotees, to all of you, for your contributions that you made. बचोरे मन गोवर्धन गिरधारी बचोरे मन गोवर्धन गिरधारी बचोरे मन गोवर्धन गिरधारी बचोरे मन गोवर्धन गिरधारी
And this is what devotees, when you see that we come together and we can perform puja, and when we perform this puja, devotees, puja becomes more beautiful when all of us participate. None of us should be any different than the other person. One, make some accomplishments in life, take a little bit. So it's always here, our older generation used to tell us this, devotees, Binaji, when your mommy and daddy them were growing up and you were a little child, they said, our first harvest that we would have planted, say, baigan. Huh? What do? First, set the baigan, you pick, what do? Take it and then go to the mandir and say, here, we can make bhojan with it. Or, number two is devotee, take it and you go and you give it to the brahmana in the village. Right? See, devotees, that is blessing. I didn't see nobody giving any baigan this year, by the way. Okay? Okay? So, I think I'll make a Panditji can cook. Right? So here, devotees, it says that, when you see individual like this, you get individual like some of us make financial donation. Remember when you walk around into the village, right? When there is anything happening in the Gaon, devotees, how many remember these days when your mother and your father them will go around into the village? Somebody, the yajna coming into the mandir. So what do? I remember those days? Huh? We'll walk around. Some people will give rice. Some people will give devotees onions. Some people will give financial donations. These are the necessities. This is what makes a mandir. So here, devotees, you have individuals like this morning, for example, and like so many of you would have done, like Virisati Chidam, the family now prepare all the bhojan for the mandir this morning. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Thank you. Right, devotees? And all of these things will happen. And when we can contribute in such a format, then that makes Hari Narayan Mandir. Right? So how are we making Hari Narayan Mandir, devotees? All of us, by participating and making this mandir beautiful. This is Hari Narayan Mandir. And my friends, let us continue to do so. Here this morning, I do hope and I pray that all of us, with this Navan Nidhi, this 9 treasures that Ma has blessed each and every one of us with, let us be continuous in our mandir, be steadfast in our mandir, continue to work in our mandir, and to beautify our mandir. And when we can do that, my friends, then that is the greatness of a mandir. When you leave this mandir, you must leave with a smiling face. If you walk in the mandir and you work too smiling, I want to see that when you left, you must smile. Right? And that means that there's a Shakti of this beautiful mandir. Also, my friends, just another announcement to all of you. My friends, as you know, there is our brother Glenn in the back here, his cousin. As a matter of fact, my friends have started a new airline traveling from Toronto to Guyana. So this flight will be leaving twice a week, right? I know Caribbean Airline has been killing people recently with their pricing, and this airline, devotees, it's called SkyRoute, right? So I'll just put this up in it looks like I see it, right? So there. SkyRoute, my friends, and they are starting their flights on September the 12th, going to Guyana. So the flights are only going on Sunday and Tuesdays from Toronto. So for any one of you who planning to go to Guyana, as a matter of fact, Glenn, I was talking to him, and I said, Glenn, the first flight, Glenn is trying to talk to me, the first flight, Panditji, you should be on it because you're also a pilot, so you can fly the plane to Guyana, right? So, my friends, anyone of you wants to join me, come on, let's go, right? So the first flight will be on Sunday, so that's the 12th. So for those of you who wants to book your flight to go to Guyana, as far as I understand, the flight is very reasonable for those of you who wants to go. Let us support them, my friends. It is about time that we do this. Sometimes I get frustrated myself as I travel to Guyana when I gotta come out in Trinidad, and I don't understand the mentality behind coming out of the airport, check in immigration, and come out and bring all your bag and handbag and thing, and then you come and you sit down, you wait for 4 hours, right? And then when you're ready to go back and board the plane, you got to check back in with immigration to go into the. I don't understand that. right? I think it's very frustrating. This flight is going direct from Toronto to Guyana. So continue to support them. And if you have not gone to Guyana for a while, I'll say to you, book a flight and go check it out. It's beautiful in Guyana as well. So my friends, all of you, I will say thank you for being part of Satsang this wonderful morning. And let us continue to glorify our Mandir as we all stand for Aarti. Yagitani sapapani janmantari kritani cha tani tani vinashanti parakshanani pari pari.
close our eyes as we have closed the prayers.
ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धो च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव पापोऽहं पापकर्माहं पापोऽत्मा पापसम्भवान् त्राहि मम पुण्डरीकाक्ष सर्वपापो हरो हरे मन्त्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तहीनं जनार्दनं यत् पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णं तरस्तु मे बार बार परमाज्ञो हर्षदेव श्रीराम परसरो जयन पावकी भक्ति सदा सतसंगस्य भजु रामचंद्र की जय शरणं प्रभु उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय सिया भजु रामचंद्र की जय शरणं प्रभु ओम द्यो शांति अन्तरिक्षं शांति पृथ्वी शांति आकाश शांति औषधय शांति वनस्पति शांति विश्वदेव शांति ब्रह्मा शांति सर्वं शांति शांति देवा शांति सामा शांति हरि ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम Shall we all bow? Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha
प्रेम से बोलो विष्णु भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो सत्य सनातन धर्म की सब संतन की जय जय सीताराम। Devotees, I'd like to say thanks to each and every one of you for coming and being part of satsang this beautiful morning and to have made contributions. Devotees, that all of you would have come to make this wonder so comfortable here. May God continue to bless each and every one of you. Devotees, to those of you who are watching us from the comforts of your home, I will say again, our greatest blessings goes out to you for accepting us into your home this morning so that all of us can glorify Bhagwan in such a beautiful way. As a reminder to each and every one of you, on Wednesday evening it is going to be Purnima, which is full moon Katha, Satnarayan Vrat Katha is going to be done here in the morning. For those of you who want to come and participate, that will be at 6 p.m. or 7 o'clock. So for those of you who want to come and be part of Satnarayan Puja, please feel free and do so. Again, as a reminder to each and everyone, you can jot this date down in the calendar. On the 6th of September, it is going to be Shri Krishna Janamashmi. So also please come out. And also as a reminder, on Wednesday is also Raksha Bandhan. And when our Raksha Bandhana means? Where sister goes and tie a thread onto your brother hand. So sisters, I want you to cultivate this in your family's life and go and reach your brother, adapt a brother, and tie a raksha on them. I'll tell you one thing, it is a really good thing because you just collect money too. Alright, so just so you know. So it says here that when we are doing that, all of us, my friends, must be part of these things. So put these dates and get it settled. That being said, Jai Shri Ram to each and every one of you.